Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engineers, where today I've come up with quite the idea. Basically, instead of having our little iron outpost over there, we actually make just a resource node. Basically, a drill that isn't going to be, on one of the actual nodes itself, but we just drill up stone. And I feel like that might just work. Haven't tested this, but I've got I've got one normal static drill. I'm gonna add two basic ones instead. Let me do that. We need an O2, H2. Do I want to use the lab one? Does it have anything extra? It uses bulletproof glass, so nah. Alright, what else? Need a refinery. I kind of want to make a full refinery. Yeah, let's do it. Screw it. Now this is with that new update. We're also going to need some hydrogen tanks and engine. And we'll put 2 hydrogen tanks in there. Alright, so let's get all this stuff loaded up. It was, what was it? Alt, middle click, middle click, middle click. Alright. So, I'm going to load all this stuff into here. So that way we can go on ahead and head out with it all. And we should be able to go on ahead and just start building out there. Now, as much as I'd love to upgrade this guy, I don't think we have any of the materials to do that right now. I was doing some test building because one of the things that I really want to do soon is to make a portable base. Alright, let's start heading out there now. Let's make sure that everything's on. Set those to auto. Everything else is on. Alright, we're good. Let's unlock. And let's find a good spot to build. I'd like to build it not too far from home base, but at the same time not too close that we're, clashing up against it. But also I was thinking about moving home base anyways, because building this can basically act as a giant resource depot for whatever stuff we're building, since I would no longer need to worry about anything I'm building. Oh, game, you good? I hope it's good. Alright. Over here looks pretty nice, actually. I could probably set it up right here on this little line. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, so let's set down right here and get to building. Because I'm assuming if I put a drill on the line, it'll start digging up stone. There we go. Alright. So let's see this. Is this going to be big enough to put a static drill on? And it looks like it might just be. So, static drill. Need a basic one. We'll put this. Actually, let's put down a light armor block first. Okay, that doesn't help anything, actually. Alright, so. Let's get you rotated like that. That ought to give us enough space. Actually, I just realized there's the exit hole, so flip it like that. So you can get all of that going with, I just realized I didn't bring any conveyors. That's fine. We just need to make kind of a protection around it. Alright. So this is where the drill itself is going to be. Then, on the opposite side, closer to there, is where the ice engine's going to be. So, we're going to go ahead. Conveyor. I don't have enough to make any conveyor blocks on me, do I? Let's see. Tube. Can I make a tuba? I cannot. Yeah. Alright. So, for now, we're just going to go ahead, build out with a couple of these. So that's going to be conveyor there, where that's going. Actually, I should probably put a sorter here so that way just the stone comes out of this and doesn't flow back in. Then I can put a small cargo container here to hold it. And that can connect to a junction here. Then I want to say another sorter, no, another cargo, sorter, and then drill. So this is where this drill's going to be. So we need to make it one block further out. Alright, so let me remeasure that. So we've got the storage, sorter, T-junction, sorter, storage, drill. Alright, looks like we're good. Alright, so now I just need to build all these a little bit before I go and get some materials from here. Alright, so we'll go on ahead and slap these down. Alright, still need a lot of construction comps for that one. Still need a lot of construction comps for that one. Did I pick up any construction comps? I feel like I did. I hope I did. But let's go ahead and finish this up. Alright. So that's just the basic on... Just something over there. Looked like something poofed over there. I don't like that. Alright. Large steel tubes are needed there. I know we packed a few of those. Alright. So now, going ahead, continue this. I think that's really all we got to do right now. Why do I still have so much on me? What do I have? Oh, a lot of steel plates. Okay, so that means that I can make the other side of the protection wall here. Alright. So, since that's going to be cargo, if that's going to be cargo, then the sorter, then the T-junction can come through here to the actual base. Alright. May as well put some of these down. And then I need to figure out where I want the... You know what? I'm going to put the refinery in between these and the main base. Alright. So, refinery. We'll need an industrial one. Does it have a connector on the bottom? It does not look like it does. But... Actually, that's really about it. It doesn't have one there. So, if I instead put it somewhere up a level, like here, that could work. I guess that could work. So if we make it so the T-junction instead goes up by a block instead of going out. Oh, unknown signal. Cool. Then we have it connect here. And then we make a little platform for the refinery out here. How big's the refinery? It is a 2x2 by tall. Alright. So we need to rotate it. Not that way. Or that way. Actually, no, we do need to rotate it that way. Alright. So right there is where everything's going to be flowing into. So that way it can go from the middle here, because that's storage, sorter, T-section, sorter, storage, out. Alright, cool. And don't think we have enough steel plates for all those. Let's go ahead and pick up some more. Oh wait, that's actually really close. What the hell? Huh. Good to know, actually. Well, I just saw that come down. I'm actually going to go get that. Let's unpark. Actually, I should probably... Okay. Went up a little fast there. Alright. I'm actually going to come down real quick to mark this place down. Alright. This is... Let's just go ahead and say you are... I'm just going to call you storage base for now. Alright. Now you stay put there while I go and grab this box that fell from the sky. Because it is actually astonishingly close. And I want to see what's inside. What do you got? What do you got? Actually came down really, really close. Holy crap. Alright. Stop. I really need to work on brakes for this thing. Alright. Let's see what you got. Hello, hello. Is that a thruster on the back of it? Come on. Lock on. Can I? There we go. Alright. Oh, jeez. Alright. What you got? What you got? Got any buttons? I know you're supposed to have a button. There we go. Okay, no, I didn't get anything. Cool. Alright. Let's see if there's anything inside this thing. There should be a storage somewhere. Actually found out that you can just double click and not have to worry about holding down the button. I don't feel like this thing was supposed to be this upside down. It was alt middle click to... Nope, alt middle click. Yep, there we go. Alright, cool. Okay, that's... Need to grind it down. What's this? Okay. Cool. Alright. So once we get this ground away, I think we can head back and continue building. Just need to actually get this thing ground away first. There's nothing but free materials, honestly. Alright. Come on. Problem is these little land parts. There we go. Alright, done. Now we fly back to the storage base. So that way I can finish off building a little bit more of it. I really hope that that one that I've set on the stone actually winds up stone. It'd be really sucky if it didn't. Alright. So let's go ahead, land on down. How much battery power do we got? At least a decent amount. Alright. Flop down. There we go. Alright. So, let's swap to the tool that we actually need here. Drop as much as we can into this one. I don't think we picked up anything for anything else. So, let's go ahead and pull on a bit more. We got a bunch of steel plates and computers. So you go there, you go there. Anything goes to this one. Got some construction comps for that one. Alright, good. Alright. And I think we're just about out of materials for this run. Alright. Looks like we might be. Let me check the storage. No, we still got a bit. Okay, so let me go on ahead and clean out the build thing. So I can go on ahead and fix this up. So we need that, that, and that for sure. Probably wouldn't hurt to get a little bit more steel plating in here as well. You know what? We also need a bunch of tubes. So let's just say for conveyor tube, we'll need a T-junction one and some sorters. Sorter, check. Check, check. What else? You also need cargo. A small cargo container. Alright. So let's head back and grab a few materials. That is one of the nice things about actually learning how to use the build planner, because I can actually just set it up so I can just go and grab what I need. Alright. Also, that gives the ship a little bit of a chance to recharge. Also, you know what? I should really actually add some rear thrust to this so I can brake. Okay. I think that is actually going to be a more important upgrade, to add some braking force. So that way I don't just, you know, go splat. Alright. That should be about it, yes? Check. Alright. Set that to recharge. And that'll be good in a little bit. Ow. Alright. There we go. So we'll dump... Oh, we do have a few interior plates. So, we're going to drop that in to let it get processed. So, just need to keep grabbing, scooping, and dropping. So I think that's about the best way that we can do it, to make sure that we get as much as we can done. And then I'm going to go and refill my hydrogen tank, because I'm realizing that it's a little empty. Alright, there we go. Got a bunch of stuff there. Let's go on ahead and refuel. Thank you. And recharge a little bit here. Make sure that that didn't take from my bottle. Yep, we're good. Alright. So, I don't know if I can just say craft... Actually, no, we can. It's alt middle click, right? Nope. Alright. Alt middle click was the deposit. It was shift middle click. One component could not be put into production. Okay. Why are we... Oh, wait. That's why. Because the refinery... the assembler is off. Okay, I need to stop that. Thank you. Why do I need solar cells for? I don't know. But looks like... How are the batteries doing? How are we looking? That sounds no good. What's the weather looking like? So it sounds like it's about to turn... Yeah, thunderstorm. Okay, so... let's... Can I add any extra thrusters? Like backwards thrust? I think I can add some extra small thrusters here. You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna replace these 3 small thrusters for some normal atmospheric thrusters. Let's see. You know what? I may as well do sci-fi atmospheric thrusters because they look cool. Alright, so these are going to be for braking force. We need to get rid of that one. Oh, whoops. Huh. I should probably actually go on ahead and boop. Alright. Gimme, gimme, gimme. So I don't want to lose any of these parts. Alright. So now we're out of brake force, so I'm going to put some brake force back on. One there, one there. That should... Oh, we're out of motors. Alright. So construction comps. Am I stuck? Hello? What the hell's going on? Hey! What the hell is this? Let me out of here. There we go. Alright. Alright, so I'm mostly missing motors and stuff. Let me put those in. Motors, you're done. You need steel plates, construction comps. That's really it. Alright. Steel plates, construction comps. Check, check. So that should give us a lot more power for brake force. Now I just need to set this up to have them part of the thrusters. Alright, sci-fi atmospherics. Save that as thrusters. So now I need to go and turn them off actually before I go and tell them to turn back on. Alright, both of those are off. Looks like we're good. Alright. So now I'm going to go and refill on hydrogen again because I did use a little bit of it trying to get out of there. Alright, that's still a full bottle. Let me actually go and take those off the build planner. And then I withdraw as many steel plates as I can. Oh, I don't have enough steel plates. Okay. That could be a problemo. Okay. Let's go ahead and head back out there. Huzzah! Alright, let's see the new braking force. Let's get up to speed. And stop. Stop. Hello? Oh crap. They didn't turn back on, did they? No, they didn't. Okay. Whoa, 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 hey. That thing was taking a damn nosedive. What the hell? Okay. Thrusters. Swap you here. Swap you one off. No, what was that one? Oh, that one was ship power. Whoops. Let me swap this for ship power. This one for thrusters. Alright. Now do we understand each other, ship? Alright. Okay, the braking force is a lot better now. Thank goodness. Let's go and land this thing. And get to building. And down. Alright. So I think that was how I had that set up. What was the other set? This full power was... Oh, full power was everything. Okay, so not ship power. Full power was the one that needed to be there. Full power on off. There we go. Alright. I just realized I forgot to grab anything that I could. Alright. So, let us see how much we can build of all of this. That can't be done. That can't be done. This is the only one that I can get any sort of anything going on. Which I guess makes sense. Okay, yeah, I am in desperate need of materials then. This is why I want to make this thing as fast as possible. Because the big iron node over there actually stopped working. So, I'm going to head over there. And because of its low power availability, it doesn't really get much anything. So I should probably just go and dismantle it. Alright, let's see how well this stops moving this fast. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Because as much as I love the solar flower, it doesn't do anything here in this little divot I ended up building this thing in. So, I am going to need to dismantle it. Just to, I guess, not really bring it back, but maybe use these parts for the new base, since it's kind of going to be its replacement. As much as I love the solar flower, I need to bring this thing down. Alright, so yeah, this thing fully recharges in 4 hours. Less now. So, yeah. This thing just does not work great. Because the days only last 2 hours. So let's head down here. Not take fall damage. There we go. Alright. So we need to pick you up, pick you up. How much stuff is in? Whoa, okay. Maybe I should offload this first. Okay, let's go ahead, head on up. If I bring back this much iron, I should be able to make the rest of the stuff on my list, which is very nice. I'm actually probably, I don't know, does this thing get saved because of that? Honestly, you know what? Fine, you can stay around for a little while longer. Because that's actually extremely helpful to have. Unfortunately, this is not as helpful. No, I probably should just make it so I can fly in and out of this thing. Alright, let's just bring back as much iron as I can handle. And I also need to interconnect some of the stuff for this ship, because it actually gets pretty heavy to move things around all the different slots. Did I just take fall damage? No, I didn't. Good. Alright. Let's go out there. Can I just... Is there any more space in here? There was. Now there's not. Alright. So we drop this in there. Drop that in there. That in there. And then we fill up this side. And then I think we take this thing into the shop to actually, I guess, take a double look at it. Because having it so that way all the stuff is separate with those small cargo containers is going to be quite the problem. For the sole fact that it is really annoying to load anything into this thing. Alright. Let's just get out of here. Got a little bit left to load. And then I'm going to go grab the rest. Alright. So that gives us quite a bit of iron to play with. Which is lovely, because that is one of the reasons I'm actually making the other base. So need a lot of iron for a lot of things. Alright. So let's take this back to Ice Base and start tinkering with it, see if I can't get the materials that I need. Also, I want to be able to make a truck soon. Not like the small truck that I had before. I want to make a large truck. It's able to carry large amounts of items. Basically be a portabase, almost. Alright. Let's take a pit stop here. Almost perfect. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this thing lined up. And land right here. And kerchunk, kerchunk. Alright. Full power off. Batteries to recharge. Let's let this thing go to town as I fall to my doom. Alright. So, because we need so much of everything, I'm just going to go ahead and set this in to do its thing. And we should get enough iron that I can make the rest of the supplies, in theory. Because we're missing a crap load of plates and all that. That's really one of the main things we're looking at here. Alright. Empty that all into here. And I think some of the other things we're missing are just like computer chips and all that. Which is still going to take a minute because I need a lot more nickel for that. But that's another reason why I'm building this base, so... Alright. With all that going, let's going ahead, get a little bit of a recharge here. Where's that unknown signal coming down? Is that? Well, that's not too far again, isn't that? Where's that coming down? Just past the base? I think that's going to be within a kilometer, maybe? Oh yeah, I can see the parachute from here. Okay. Well, this is doing its thing. How are we looking at? I think it's done doing its thing, actually. Let's see. Yep, done. Alright. So let's see if I can finish building the rest of the stuff for the refinery. You have fun now. I am going to go and pick that up, actually. And then when we come back, I'll go ahead and do some upgrades on the old flight machine here. So, the unknown signal is over here. I did see its parachute drop. Is it stuck in the sky? I think it might actually be stuck in the sky. Unless that parachute's just really, really good. Nope, that parachute's just really, really good. Alright. Get in closer for a landing. Hello, hello. Alright. Let's see what I get from this one, if anything at all. They are kind of a toss-up. Alright. Hello, hello. What do you got? You got a button. Right there. Nothing. Okay. Good to know. Got any special materials? Clang crunchies and fruit seeds. Cool. I don't need any of those, actually. I don't have hunger in my world. So I'm just gonna let those actually sit there. I don't think I can dematerialize them into something that I need. Alright. Ooh, a hydrogen thruster, though, is pretty nice to get one of. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. And then there's that. Alright. Have fun. So now, we head back to home, which should hopefully have at least a few metal plates ready for me. But I'm probably going to go and work on that a little bit. Well, I don't know. I need to go check to see what we still need, because it might be something that I actually need to build the truck for. And thus I'm going to need more materials. So, we'll just have to see. Let's come in for a landing. Yeah, this thing has so much more controllability now. Honestly, I should probably try parking it this way. So that way I then drop into the base instead of all over the front lawn. There we go. Alrighty. So, how are things looking in here? I'm going to drop off all the things that I have. These grids go up here to the other cargo container. Why are you disconnected? Hello? Why are these two disconnected from each other? Is it because this isn't going to have enough space to put this one in here? No, that's the wrong one. Whoops. No, it's fine. I don't know why these two are disconnected now. What the hell? Oh, wait, no, because that's the one on my ship. I'm an idiot. Okay. So let's take the detectors, that, and the radio comm, and put that up here. And I'll put away all the stuff that I have in the ship for now, since I'm going to be doing some remodeling. Got a lot of motors. Alright. Let's see, can I can. Alright, good to know. Let's dump all this stuff for now. And then it was Ultimetal Click, actually. There you go. Alt middle click to dump all that. Anything else in here that I need to worry about? I think all the inventories, let's just say, show them the inventories on the current ship. Yep, totally empty. Alright. So, my current idea, I'm going to need to move these batteries actually. What is that that's down there? That is the connector. Okay, so that's where the connector is. I am going to need some serious battery power. How much batteries do we have? Let's go for small blocks. I want to make a battery. I need nickel that I don't have. Let's see. Will it let me craft it? It will not. So I am in desperate need of nickel. Which means more rock grinding away for me. Okay. But I'll do that off camera. Because basically my idea is to replace the batteries that we have on here with bigger ones. And move this down and make it so that way these all connect. And make it so I can access them from the front storage cockpit here. And I think that's really about it that I wanted to change for it. Make it so it's got more charge. Can hold not necessarily more stuff, because we've already been hitting kind of a soft cap with our current thruster loadout. Also, I feel like I should add some of those high-end thrusters up here to get the front speed going a little better as well. But that can all happen later on once I get enough materials to do so. Because currently, I'm poor. I mean, could I? Hold on, let's see. So for a solar cell, it needs 1 nickel and 2 silicon. If I decrafted instead, how much will we get? 1 nickel and 2 silicon. Okay, so I can get rid of all of these solar cells. Because right now we're not working with solar power. How many solar cells do we have? We have 12 here. And 40, okay, so 59 solar cells. We can cook those down to a decent amount of nickel. That should get us enough nickel to finish the battery setup if I don't make a second one. So let's go ahead and dismantle all of these. So that way we can go on ahead and use their parts to make the batteries. Alright. Think that'll do. I could probably also go for the bulletproof glass as well. I don't know why I'd be needing that right now, but that just gives silicon. Alright. So let's go ahead and finish decrafting all this. And there we go. Make the battery parts, because I know we got the iron. Alright, let's get dismantling. So this medium cargo container, we are going to put it back down, so. Oh, because I did have a big battery in here. Okay. I did not realize that, actually. That would explain why I hadn't connected anything. So we're going to take out the small batteries. We're going to move the cargo container up. Yeah. Alright. So we're going to put one of these conveyor converters. Where is it? Yeah, conveyor converter. So let's get rid of that. We need this there. Alright. So let's make a conveyor converter. Converter. Boom. Should have fallen enough nickel for that right now. Alright. That'll be good. So now we just go ahead, grab out all this, interior plates and all that. And we put this down right here. Alright, now we grind away at all these batteries. Not the gyro, I just realized I left the gyro here. That might actually screw up the plan quite a bit. Actually, no, I can put the gyro up here, maybe? I can move the gyro up, so my inventory's going to be full. Let me dump a little bit of this. Alright. Gyro, you're coming with me. That is staying behind. Repair the inset connector, because I do not want that breaking. Why am I rotating? Hello? Okay, I didn't like that. I don't know why that happened. Alright, so we'll grind that away. Oh, I had a second gyroscope. Alright, so we'll remove that too. So I can move that one. You know, I could put both up here, honestly. Gyroscope. I can put both right there. And then turn those off real quick so I can go ahead and save on power. Alright, let's see. I mean, terminal's not connected to any ship. Okay, let's get in here. And save those two gyros as part of full power. Full power. Plus the two gyros. Check them accounted for. On off. There we go. So now those will be off for the moment. Means that I can try to wind-angle this mess. Since I'm more worried about it being able to grab it from the front, let's go ahead and saw these away for a minute. Alright, that should be fine since it's connected to the base. Alright, cargo. We'll take the large cargo container. Actually, no, we had a medium cargo. Alright, medium cargo container. Showing that right there. I don't have the interior plates. Let me... there we go. Alright. So now we put this... What? Okay, let's grab these interior plates. So I can go ahead and put this down before the ship decides it doesn't want to exist anymore. Alright, construction comps, computers. Let me go ahead and grab all those. We need construction comps, computers, displays and motors. Alright, displays and motors. There we go. So now I can access the storage from the front. This doesn't have any side connectors there, so I'm going to move these small connectors up here underneath this wing. Although, will that work? I could... yeah, I think I'll do that. Although I need to see, does the inset connector have a side piece connector? Let's see. It does. So, if I pop a side here, that means that I'll be able to connect directly to the base. If I, say, leave a spot open here for storage. So if I, instead of having... crap. Alright. Let's, there you go. Alright. So if I grab this, and instead of having it like that, have it from here instead. So then I could set this so it kind of curves around, maybe? Put a small cargo there and there so it connects here. And then the same thing on the other side. I think that'll work. Alright. So then we grind away at these ones. And this little section here. And then we can put down cargo. So this will still be able to hold the exact same amount of cargo, it's just a lot more accessible. Oh, I just realized this actually is not what I thought it was going to... Okay, so these aren't able to connect on all sides. Might actually be better to put a second normal medium cargo in here. Ah, but then where do I put the batteries? You know what? I'm just going to lessen it so there's only one medium cargo at the ability for it to actually connect downwards here. Alright. Plan changed. We're reducing the storage volume to have a little bit of extra controllability. So, conveyor tubes, where were the... whatchamacallit? The reinforced ones. Actually, we need small conveyor tubes. What the hell are you? Stone Duster Large? I forgot I had that mod. Alright. Can I get small reinforced tubes? I can. Alright. So, small reinforced conveyor tube curved. Where does this go? Alright. So you have a connection there and there, yes? Alright. So you can go there. I need more steel plates. Okay. So you can go there. And then... where does that go? That's there. So then... rotate it that way. And then rotate it this way to have the safety piece in there. Then I go ahead and do that and that. Alright, that should be good. Alright, need a bunch of interior plates. That's fine. But this should mean that I can get materials from the ship into the base if I can connect up a good connector. Because right now that is not the case. Alright, let's dump these. We need motors and construction comps. There we go, there we go. Nope, and nope. Just need more construction comps. Then you do the same thing on the other side. Although I could put some extra storage there. That might work. But so now I should be able to say, inset connector, let me access materials from, where is it? From, cargo container? There's the industrial cockpit, medium cargo container. There we go. We can load it and unload it from the bottom now. That is actually surprisingly nice. Alright. So now we just need to do the whole thing on the other side again. So, let me pull this back out. We need the curved piece to go there. We need that there. And this here. Alright. And then that one just needs to be one of the defended sides. There we go. Alright. And then we should be well ready to fly again once I put some batteries back on this thing. Alright. So let's go ahead, get some of these. And now that we've got a little bit of an upgrade to our little flyer here, we should should be able to easily use it to, well, do the usual things it does, just a little better. And what was the last thing? Construction comps. Alright. That should bring those up to full. And then I can put a few small storages right there and there where you'd normally have the converter. Just to increase the storage by a little bit, so we're not running completely low. Alright. Small cargo. There you go, small cargo. And there we go. And there we go. So now I should no longer need to leave the ship to actually store anything that I pick up. Which is going to be nice, because then I can be lazy and just wait inside the ship. And I need computers. There we go. Oh, well that's not good. Okay, and then we need motors. Yes, thank you. Alright. So we need motors as well, which are easy enough to get. There we go. Yeah, I completely didn't realize that I'd been flying around for so long. Then we need displays. And then that should end off that. I just need to add on those batteries that I already crafted to the back of the thing. Alright. And now for the interior plates to put down the batteries. There we go. Then I'm going to slot these in on the back here. On the behind of the storage. Oh, it needs normal steel plates, not interior. Okay. So, if I just slot 2 of these down in here, I think we call this done. And that is an upgrade. That actually fits perfectly. Alright, construction comps, computers, and battery components. So that's computers, construction comps, and then the battery components. And then these can charge up while I work on figuring out what I want to do next. Where is battery components? I know we just crafted some. There we go. Oh, I didn't craft enough for a second battery. Okay. Well, I'll work on getting that done off camera. Because right now this needs to do a little bit of recharging. Let's go ahead and set that to recharge. Where is battery? There you are. I'm going to want you to be... Oh wait, it's already charging. We should be fine. Alright. I just realized I am going to need to set everything back up inside the ship as well. That's going to suck. But, let's see, how much... Do we have 20? We have 20. So... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That should be enough, probably. Let that finish crafting, and then I think we're good to go. Alright. And then... I think I can take the thing out for a spin a little later once I get everything all set up again on it. I could also probably patch up a few of these holes. Who knows? I think that's... Yep. Okay, I made an extra one. That's not too bad. Alrighty. And with that being done, I am going to sign off for today because I have to go and reconfigure all the HUD stuff. So, hope you all have enjoyed this episode of Space Engineers, and yeah, see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.